What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jason, and we're continuing our Supabase Swift series. We've been working on our database, and what's missing now is to implement the delete feature in our app. And to do that, we actually need to change our... Let me run the app to show you guys what it looks like. So currently in our project, you'll see here that we just have text for these items, and what we need to do is we need to create a view for each of these so we can implement some sort of delete feature or functionality to each of these items. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. I'm gonna stop the simulator, go to my folder and create a new view, new file. Make sure you hit Swift UI view. I'm gonna name this to do item view. All right, and let's refresh this and let's create an H stack. And what do we want in the H stack? We want a text. So it looks like we'll have to pass in a text. Or text, and this will be the text. Just pass in text. Command B, we should get an error. Put homework, refresh this. And we can, let's add a height. I'm gonna embed this in a Z stack. And I'm gonna add a height to the Z stack. So let's say a height of, let's do 80. And let's add a corner radius of, and in this H stack, let's put a spacer right here. This will push the text all the way to the left. And we can add some padding around the text. And if we want, we can change the font. Although I'm fine with the current font, but if you wanted to, you could change the font to whatever you would like. Dot headline. Dot whatever you think looks good. I'm gonna keep just a regular font. And up here, let's add a color. Dot green background to it. Boom, boom. All right, so our item is looking really good. The only thing that's missing is we need to implement the delete functionality. So above the color, let's put an H stack, and let's put an image in the H stack. Call it trash. Make it resizable. One thing we'll want to do is put this spacer here at the top of the image, and we can't see it because this is behind the color. So how are we going to handle the deleting in our app? Basically, I'm going to implement a way that we can swipe this and the little trash icon is going to show. And then if you tap it, boom, delete happens. So how are we going to implement this? So down here at the bottom, we need to use dot gesture. And we're basically going to create a gesture. So you can delete this and we'll say drag gesture dot on change. We want to do something, and on ended, we want to do something. And underneath this view here, I'm gonna create some functions that are gonna help us handle the swiping gesture. So func on change, and for this one we need to add a value, and this will be a drag gesture dot value. And we need one more called on end, and you do the same value, drag gesture dot value. And for on change, we need to make sure if value dot translation dot width is less than 0, we want to do something else. And up here, actually, we can pass in our on change and on end. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do in this function. We're going to create an offset. One thing I realized here at the top, we can change this from a string to actually to a to-do. And this no longer becomes text. This can be to-do dot text, command B. And here at the top, we're going to create an offset. Var offset equals a CG float, and you set this equal to 0. Command B. And what we're gonna do is when the drag gesture happens, we're gonna change the offset of this green here. So we actually need to embed these in a Z stack, it looks like. Or actually, it looks like we don't. It would make sense to embed this. Let's just, because in case you add some other images or something else to this view. Let's say you wanted to add an image or something, right? Then it would make sense to change the offset to both of these instead of just changing the offset of this. Because like, we can go here to offset, and we only care about the X. Let's say we do 50 or something. See an argument. Oh, fix dot init homework, and then this is a string. Get rid of this. Now our preview should load. Boom, and we offsetted the wrong one. I believe it's a negative. There we go. And you see there's a partial trash can image back here. We can set the background. This is a dot red. Boom. It's coming along. It's coming along. Yeah, this is when we do just the green here. And in our use case, it'll work. But I'm going to do We'll wrap this in a Z stack just for future in case we add something to this item. And the offset is going to be our offset that we have up here. When the gesture change happens, we want to change our offset. And you could just change it by the value, but you'll see. Watch, look. So you could set the offset to this, and you'll see what it does. It starts doing some crazy stuff. And that's because the translation width and basically where the gesture is happening, it doesn't really know. But what we do is we cut this, and you can paste it in here. And now that'll help us. Watch. Boom, boom. Not quite yet. Let's do negative. This would be a better example. Yeah, you see, homework goes all the way off screen. When in reality, we could just do like 60. Oh, I see what happened. Actually, it looks like we want to just do the offset on the green, because you want to avoid this H stack here. But if we had an image, then like let's say we had an image here or a number or something or a check mark, we could wrap those in a Z stack and just shift those. But if we shift this along with the color, then homework gets taken off screen. So that's not what we want to do. I'll keep this in a Z stack for now, just in case you guys want to add an image or something here. And I like to do 60 here because you see now when I go here, boom, this comes up. Maybe you could do 75. Let's see how that looks. And then else, we also have to reset it. And we actually don't even need our onEnd function, since basically whenever a gesture happens this way, the green will shift and boom, we go. And now we have to create a frame here. Let's see, 32 by 32 dot trailing. Let's see if that helps us with our trash can. It does. What if we add a color dot red to the H stack? Yes, that looks good. Now let's add some padding. Ooh, let's add a little bit more trailing. Actually, I think all we need is trailing padding. So we're going to do trailing. Let's do 12, 16, 20. Aha, 20 looks good. And now we want to handle the delete. And we can do that on this H stack. We'll add a tap gesture recognizer. So on tap gesture recognizer, print, delete. And let's try to implement this in our project. So we go back to our to-do view. And we're going to change this to to-do view, to-do item view. And we'll pass in our to-do. And do we have our mock data? Yeah. Our mock data is in to-do form. Let's just put to-dos and then run the app. Not too bad, not too bad. The only thing, let's see. All right, so I'm going to add this to a scroll view so we can actually scroll. So we can click on, hit command, click, and embed in. Just hit embed, and we'll call scroll view. Do this one. You can get rid of this, and then show indicators. You go to false, and you can delete this. Now let's run this and see how this looks. I believe the alignment might be off still, but we should be able to scroll. Oh no, the alignment is fixed now. Oh, and look there, we can scroll. If we delete, oh, you guys see down here, delete is being printed. Delete, let's add some string interpolation really quickly. To do .text. Run this. Delete code, delete sleep, delete finish course, delete clean room. All right. So now we got to go implement this in our backend. So let's open up Supabase. I'm gonna pause this really quickly. Go to Google. All right, so I opened up Supabase and we're gonna go to Swift, see what they say about delete data. It looks like it's very straightforward. We just have to call the column and the value. So let's go to our database manager. All right, we're gonna create a func called delete to do item, and we can just pass in the ID, and we'll say try await. We need to make this async. Client database from to dos. What did Supabase say? Delete. It looks like EQ and equals are the same thing. Don't quote me on that though, but it appears that it's the same because I believe we used equals here. Let's try with equals and EQ. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I believe they both should work. So our column we want to match it to is I think it's called IDs. Let's go to our dashboard and confirm. Continue with GitHub. Select on your project And go to your database. Yep, it's called ID. Just had to make sure. And the value is, we'll pass this. Let's go back. What if we do, let me see. If EQ lets you do an integer. So with EQ, we can use an integer instead of having to use a string. So I'm going to try that. So ID, Command B, see if we have any issues. We need to mark our function async throws. And I think we need to call one more thing. Oh yeah, dot execute, of course. Dot execute. And actually, what does this function return? It returns a response. So let response equal this. And let's print our responses here. I'm gonna sorry, the camera went to sleep. So I'm just gonna print the responses here. We named this response. We called dot execute. And I'm keeping these print statements here. Of course, in a like actual production project, you probably want to get rid of these. But I'm keeping them there for now. We'll probably delete them towards the end of this series. Now we can try to run this. So I'm gonna go to our to-do. Nope, this is our to-do model. Where's our to-do view? Right here. And it looks like for our to-do item, we're gonna need access to our to-do view model. View model, to-do view model. And in our to-do view model, we're gonna have to create the delete. We already have a delete. So we'll say to-do equals to-do. And I don't think we need to do any handling here. We don't have to do any other type of handling. We can just, for now, let's just call it to the try await. Database manager shared dot delete to do item, and we could do to do dot int or ID. And this will potentially delete our item. Now we need to go back here where it's being deleted, or on tab gesture on tab gesture. Oh, no recognizer. That's UI kit. We need to create a task here and create a do catch. Again, no real error handling for this series. Error deleting item. And let's print error if there is one. And we'll call try await view model dot delete to do. Command B builds. Let's run it. All right, so we're gonna delete code because we did it. And oh, fatal error. We declared our to do thing as an environment object and we didn't call it. Forgot about that. My fault. I'm gonna call it here in the preview for future sake, and go back to our to do view, and we need to call it dot environment object, pass in view model. Now we run it, and now we shouldn't crash. And by the way, you could probably change this back to ID now that we have access to our ID. But if you remember, we're handling that the text is not the same, so we can keep it as text. But let's try to delete code, and I'm gonna move this here so we can actually see the terminal. And let's try to delete this. Oh, we got a 200 response, which is a success. And we got some data. Let's go back to the auth, or let's go back to our database and close the. Oh, and I forgot we need to actually print this as a string. Otherwise, you just get the bytes. But we deleted it, and actually, I'm trying to see the code. But let's go to our database, and I believe here table editor, to-dos. Code is gone. RIP code. No more code. And if we run our, I think our app is running. So let's go to our simulator. Code is gone here too. And let's get rid of sleep. We did that today. Oh, and this just returns the item that was deleted. Cool. And now, so on tap gesture, it looks like it just stays like this. Oh, that's something we can handle in our view model. Because if we go here, we can remove it from our list here, because we should have access to it. So we should only get here if the deletion is a success. So we're going to say to-dos dot remove all where dot ID is equal to do dot ID. Let's run this and let's see if this works. So we cleaned our room today. So hey, and looks like it's working. Publishing changes from a background third is not allowed. I figured we might get something like this. So let's put this the main actor. You know, you got to put on the main actor, and dang, let's delete the last one, and we should get rid of those warnings. Boom. Yep. No more warnings. Let's add Supabase is lit. Create. All right. Oh, one thing I just realized is we need to add some padding to this. Let me create one more. So let's say like, comment, and subscribe. What a plugin. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe on the video. Let's add a padding though, dot horizontal. And we can't see this on our preview, so might as well just close this. Ah, that's nice. Yeah, that's a good padding. There we go. And it looks like the ad lines up with the border. I think so. Maybe. It might be like a pixel off. But this looks good. I'm gonna nitpick on some things now. So I did some researching and I found a color that we can use that'll match more of the Supabase color. So we're gonna do color, do red, green, blue. Do a red of 62 divided by 255. Green of 207 divided by 255. And a blue of 142 divided by 255. This is more of a Supabase green, and let's add that color to our add button. So that'll be, let's run our app. All right, so I also added the green back right here for the add button, and we're running the app now, and the green is pretty good, the Supabase green. And the last thing I want to add is, this is our navigation, this is our Z stack. I'm gonna add a color here. And this is going to be like the grayish color, or like black/grayish color that they have on the Supabase site. 39 divided by 255, 40 divided by 255, and let's see, 39 divided by 250. Let's see, what if we put this on top of our navigation stack? What is our Z stack in? Can we do ignore safe areas? Haha. And now, since this is going to be actually, before we run, let's go to our to-do item and let's change our text color to that. So dot foreground color, copy, and I'm just gonna copy and paste it here. And now if we run this, we broke it. Let's just put the background here, then that color here. I think that should get rid of those issues. And now if we run this, boom, in our Supabase colors. All right, the final thing I'm gonna do in this video is I want to add a little overlay. I'm gonna create an inner shadow basically, and I mean, this might be overkill, but I feel like making it look nice. So we're gonna create an overlay. Let's close the parentheses, and in the overlay we're gonna call a rounded rectangle, corner radius. Just call a rounded rectangle with a corner radius of 20, and we call dot stroke. We want to bring in the line width of 4, and we're going to call shadow. Bring in color radius. We can get rid of X and Y. For the color, I'm going to copy the foreground text color, which is like that grayish color. And the radius, let's do 10. And you see we have this. And the last part we have to do is, in this stroke, we can add a color here before the line width. So I'm going to copy the green, paste that green color here, and do a comma, space, and boom, we have this inner shadow. Now if we run our app, this should look dope. Let's see. Ooh, we got a little inner shadow. And that's it for this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Once you do that, you can hit delete. If not, don't leave the video. But yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see. We still have a few more episodes left, but we're done with the database thus far. Next, we'll probably work on the storage side of Supabase. So I'll see you guys there. Peace.
I'm riding between it all in this perfect play. I'm a piece of the puzzle, I'm a fit where you need